my loves, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name's Lucy, and on this channel I share all kinds of things about personal development, spirituality, and how to become the best version of you. On today's video, we're going to talk about one of the most important topics that there is when we're looking at personal growth, manifesting more of what we want, and achieving all of our wildest dreams. The topic is self-sabotage. First of all, what is self-sabotage? Self-sabotage is when the only person that actually stops us from achieving everything that we've ever wanted is ourself. This might sound like the most illogical, pointless thing ever, and you're right, it is. So then the question is, why do we do it? Why do we hold ourselves back? Why do we stop ourselves? Why do we get in our own way? Why do we procrastinate? Why do we come up with a million reasons why not to do something? And this is when we understand that this is actually part of how our brain's survival mechanism works. When we understand that actually our brain is wired towards focusing on fear. Our brain is designed to invent or come up with all of the risks that could potentially happen to us when we venture out and do something new. Why? To protect us from things that are outside of our comfort zone. And when we can understand that these parts of our brain are left over from when we used to live as cave people out in the wild, surrounded by real life dangers, life or death situations all the time. But we can also understand that those same parts of our brains light up and trigger even when we're doing something that actually has no risk of life or death in it whatsoever, like starting a new business or showing up and being consistent and disciplined towards achieving your goals, or working harder to make more money, or being consistent with putting your creations on YouTube. Any of these things, are pretty risk-free, really. And yet our brain still lights up the same way. So we're understanding the first key thing to being able to overcome self-sabotage is to understand why we do it. And then I'm also going to be sharing in this video techniques we can use to be able to get beyond self-sabotage, to break through the barriers that we have created around ourselves so that we can finally live the life that we've always wanted. So looking at self-sabotage, first of all, I've touched upon it briefly as to why we do this. It's just part of our brains. When we can understand that our brains are not actually wired for success. Our brains are not actually wired for growth. And our brain's primary function is to protect us for survival, just so that we can survive long enough to reproduce and keep the human race living on, okay? That is the primary function of our brain. But if you're here watching this YouTube channel, clearly you have chosen not to live a life of just mere survival, reproduction, and then death. You want to live your best life. You want to wear this one out. You want to, become the best version of you and tap into your fullest potential. So if you fall into that category like me and you're not here just to show up, pay some bills, reproduce, and die, then in order for us to get all of that growth, we need to be able to overcome the way that our brains are naturally wired, which is to keep us in the same place, to keep us stuck, and to prevent us from growing. Added to that, if we look at this whole situation from a spiritual perspective, when I was in India, one of my spiritual mentors taught me about how the positive energies and the negative energies operate. And basically, you can take as much of this as you want to. If you're not into spiritual stuff, then, you know, take this with a pinch of salt. But I like to think that most of us on this channel are very open-minded and open to all the woo-woo stuff that we can't necessarily see. But anyway, she said that positive energies are always looking to pour more abundance onto us, helping to add power to our manifestations and helping things to grow. But on the flip side, there are also negative energies that are pretty much working away to do the exact opposite. And the way that she described it sounded like that actually these negative energies do things to try and slow us down, do things to hold us back. She said that time is one of these negative energies, because if you think about it like this, we are constantly trading our time for growth and life experience or a lack thereof. For example, if you want to become a millionaire, right? And it could take you 20 years to become a millionaire, or, you know, with loads of extra hard work and being consistent, you could get there in 2 years, right? You could become a millionaire in 2 years. The reason why you have to work harder and the reason why it feels harder to get there in 2 years rather than 20 years is because by going down the 2-year route, you're going to come across a bunch of negative energies that are going to try and put obstacles in your way, slow you down, make it harder for you, throw you a bazillion curveballs, because time is like a currency. So why would time be okay with trading you just 2 years of your time for your millionaire life when it could slow you down so that it gets paid 20 years of your life for that outcome? Is this making sense? I hope it is. Comment below if this is resonating with you in some way, or if this is like the first time you've ever heard it described in this way. Please let me know, because this was really, really interesting for me when I first heard this information. So for me, at first when I heard this information, it was a little bit scary to think, oh my God, are there literal like energies I can't see trying to pull me down and hold me back? But on the other hand, I thought, well, that just empowers me to make sure that I strengthen who I am, I strengthen my energy, and when problems or obstacles or challenges pop up in my life, or when I get thoughts that are slowing me down, that are holding me back, that are sabotaging my own success, I can be more aware of the idea that this is clues that these energies are trying to draw me backwards or hold me in the same place. For example, I am so grateful that I'm receiving so much growth on YouTube at the moment. And interestingly, with all of that growth, which is everything that I want, right? To be able to reach more people with these messages, to be able to, you know, I'm now monetizing my YouTube, so it's a beautiful passive income stream as well. So all that I want is to be able to, you know, effortlessly create more videos to bring more value to people's lives and deservedly receive income for the value that I'm bringing to more people's lives. And interestingly, over the last couple of weeks, my mind has been trying to stop me creating the videos. My mind has been going, oh, you don't have any more ideas. My mind has been going, oh, you're not in a creative mood to create a video today, right? And how many of you can relate to the fact that your mind has ever tried to talk you out of getting into your flow state and creating what it is that you are here to create, or anything like this? I'm sure I'm speaking to an audience of people who I'm sure have been through this as well. So with this level of awareness now, what I did was I was aware of the fact that I was holding myself back. I was aware of the fact that I was putting this resistance, or there seemed to be this resistance between where I am now, and this is another thing that one of my other mentors taught me, on the other side of that stuff that feels the hardest to do, on the other side of all of those things that you really are procrastinating doing, on the other side of that is the door to everything that you've ever wanted. If you could take one thing away from this video, it would be to remember that expression. On the other side of everything that you're holding yourself back from doing is the life that you've always wanted, is the version of you that you've always wanted to be, is the version of your business that you've always wanted to create, is the version of anything that you feel there's resistance stopping you from going out and doing it and making it happen. Just remember that on the other side of that is everything that you've ever wanted. So why I'm sharing this stuff with you is because these energies operate in pretty much the same way on all of us. And I sometimes come across people who say, oh, it's easy for you because you're always so motivated. Could not be more wrong. I'm a human and I have thoughts, and some serve me and some try to hold me back. And if we look at this from a spiritual perspective, it means that there's positive energies guiding me towards everything I've ever wanted and adding power to that. And there's also always going to be negative energies trying to hold me back, trying to hold everyone back. But it's up to you as an individual, it's up to me as an individual to decide and to push through those harder times. Another expression that I share with my team, because we're all entrepreneurs, right? So we all go through this stuff, is just keep moving forwards. Some days you're going to be running forwards. Some days walking, some days crawling. But however it is, whatever day you're at, however easy or hard it feels in this season of where you're at right now, just keep moving forwards. So on the days when you really feel like you can barely get out of bed and take any action, just make sure that you move something in your life forwards. Make sure that you take a pinch of action at the very least, so that you're at least one tiny step in the right direction towards everything that you want. That way you are still winning. And those negative energies that are trying to hold you back are losing. And the more that you can keep pushing through that resistance, the more that you can take action in spite of feeling unmotivated and procrastinating. Number one, it will build your own self-confidence massively. But number two, those energies will grow weak and they will pick on a subject, they will pick on another person who is easier for them to control and dominate and hold on to. Eventually, you're going to be able to push past those negative energies and they'll realize that they won't be able to, to hold you back in the same ways as before. Then you'll probably reach a new level in your life and experience whole new challenges. But is that not what life should be about? In my opinion, life should be about growth, being hit with new challenges rather than being stuck by the same challenges over and over and over and over and over and over again. Don't you just want fresh? Don't you want fresh breakthroughs? Don't you want fresh new level of your life? And with that, sure, fresh new challenges. But with those fresh new challenges, fresh new growth. Don't you just want that? Isn't that what the purpose of life is to be about? So my darlings, this just came from where I'm at right now, what I'm feeling right now, what I'm growing through right now, and having this awareness, understanding why it is that we hold ourselves back is the key to that door to everything that we've ever wanted. But all you need to do, now that you know that this key exists, now that you know that the door exists, is put the key in the lock, turn the key, open it, and go for it with everything that you've ever wanted in your life. Because I remember the most frustrating thing for me was not understanding why I was holding myself back. Not understanding why curveballs and obstacles seemed to hit every time I made a declaration or a commitment that I was going to take my life to the next level. So now that you've got this understanding, now that you've got this level of awareness, you can almost, I encourage you, and please get in touch with me or comment on this video when it happens for you. Give yourself a cheeky little smile. Give the universe a little smile and be like, I see what you're doing, I see what you're trying to do, but I'm not gonna let it stop me. Show the universe how badly you want it. Show the universe that you're actually serious You don't have to be intelligent. You don't have to have qualifications. You don't have to be more skilled than the other person. But you have to show that you're serious about getting what you want and achieving what you want. That, in my opinion, is the most powerful secret that you can tap into, regardless of your background, regardless of your race, regardless of your gender. How much of a man or how much of a woman you show up to be in those toughest times is actually what will help you to progress your life. Because I'm sure you also know there are people with high IQs, can speak many languages, have all the qualifications after their name. And what? It's what you do. It's the action that you take. It's what you do with those qualifications. It's what you do with those skills, what you do with those languages, or what you do with just who you are raw. It's what you do. It's how you show up. It's how you choose to respond to the challenges that we all get hit with in different ways. We all get hit with them. So keep moving forwards. I feel a bazillion times better after having been able to share this message with you. I knew I was going through it for a reason, to be able to share it with all of you. And I know that the right people who needed to hear this message will see this video. So thank you guys so much again for watching. If you haven't subscribed already, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring my bell. Give it a thumbs up. Share it with friends who need to hear this message too. And I'll see you on my next video. Until next time.